They called him just another clown, a man who used laughter to hide his pain. But when a famous comedian mocked him on live television, the world laughed too. They didn't know that night laughter would ignite madness, because some jokes don't end with applause. Some end with silence and blood when society turns cruelty into entertainment. Joker doesn't forgive, he performs. If you believe justice can wear a smile, hit subscribe, because what happens next will make you question who the real joke was all along. The night it all began was cold, not the kind that chills your skin, but the kind that seeps into your bones and stays there. Gotham City had always been a circus of cruelty, but that night, the laughter was crueler than usual. The nation's favorite late-night host, Ryan Cole, had a new segment, Laughing at Lunacy. And his special guest? A man who once tried to make people laugh for real, Arthur Fleck. The camera lights burned against Arthur's pale face. He smiled awkwardly, his hands trembled in his lap. The audience didn't see the panic behind that grin. They saw only a man who didn't belong. Ryan leaned forward, his tone dripping with mockery. "So, Arthur, still chasing the dream of being funny? Or just chasing your medication?" Laughter. 1,000 faceless people laughing at his pain. Arthur tried to speak, but his words came out uneven, broken. I think comedy should come from truth." Ryan smirked. "Then your life must be one big punchline." The crowd roared again, and that was the moment, the very moment, the Joker was born again. After the show, Arthur sat in the dressing room staring at his reflection. The mirror laughed back at him, not with joy, but with judgment. They still see a clown, he thought. No one sees the man beneath. His makeup smeared as he wiped his face, but the smile remained. That painted grin, the one thing he could control. He whispered to his reflection, "They think they can laugh at me again. No, not this time." Outside, a Gotham skyline blinked with neon lights. The perfect stage for a man who'd had enough of humiliation. That night, something inside Arthur cracked, and then reorganized itself into something brilliant, something terrifyingly precise. The Joker wasn't chaos without reason anymore. He had a plan. The next morning, social media erupted with clips from the show. Millions of views, millions of laughs. Ryan Cole's ratings soared. The internet crowned him a hero for exposing a wannabe clown. But somewhere in the shadows of Gotham, someone else was watching every view count rise, with a smile. A week later, Ryan received a mysterious package at his studio. Inside, a VHS tape, unmarked, except for a single hand-drawn smile. No one had used tapes in years. Curious, he played it in the control room. Static filled the screen, then Joker appeared, dressed immaculately, his makeup clean, his tone calm. "Good evening, Ryan. I saw your little performance. Bravo. The world laughed with you. But tell me, did you ever wonder what the punchline costs?" Ryan froze. Joker continued, his voice slow, deliberate. "Comedy, my friend, is about timing. You made me the joke. Now, it's your turn." The tape cut off. Just a laugh, distant, echoing, and horribly human. Ryan thought it was some sick prank. The studio increased security, but then strange things started happening. The next show, one of the teleprompters glitched, flashing words that weren't in the script. "Laugh harder, Ryan." The following night, a crew member vanished after leaving the building. The police found his car parked outside an abandoned carnival, with a single playing card stuck to the windshield. A Joker. Ryan tried to brush it off. He told himself it was coincidence, maybe even a desperate fan stunt, but deep down, something gnawed at him, fear mixed with guilt. He had mocked a man's pain, turned it into content. That Friday night, during a live broadcast, the studio lights flickered. The laughter track looped unnaturally, echoing like a ghost in the speakers. Ryan's voice trembled as he tried to continue his monologue. Suddenly, the main screen behind him changed. No one had touched it. The same video played, but this time, Joker wasn't on the tape. He was there, in the control booth. Camera 7 caught the image first, a blurred figure standing in the dark corner, face painted, eyes gleaming through the glass. The audience thought it was part of the act. The laughter continued, but Ryan froze mid-sentence. Then the power cut out. Screams, chaos, the screen turned black. When the lights came back, Ryan was gone. The cameras showed nothing, only his empty chair, and written across the table in red lipstick, "The world wanted a joke, so I gave them one." By morning, every channel was replaying the footage. Half the world thought it was a publicity stunt. The other half believed Joker was back. Police found no trace of Ryan Cole, just fragments of a broken camera lens and a small card resting inside the studio spotlight. It read, "Smile." The show's not over. The nation didn't know whether to be afraid or entertained. But deep beneath Gotham, in an old theater with cracked mirrors and torn velvet curtains, Joker sat alone, watching the world react. He wasn't smiling, not yet. He whispered to himself, voice soft as a confession. They laughed because they didn't understand the pain. Now, they'll laugh because they feel it. Then he looked up at the camera recording his every move and smiled. The disappearance of Ryan Cole became Gotham's favorite mystery. News anchors debated it. Influencers turned it into memes. The same people who had laughed at Joker's humiliation were now laughing at Ryan's fate, like the city had forgotten how easily entertainment becomes tragedy. But Joker hadn't forgotten. He was watching everything. The talk shows, the headlines, the late-night jokes about his return. Each one made him smirk, but behind that grin was something colder. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about reflection, making the world look into the mirror it had built and hate what it saw. In the following weeks, new tapes began surfacing, not mailed, not uploaded, broadcasted live, hijacking signals across Gotham. Static would fill the screen, and then his voice. "Good evening, Gotham. Tonight's joke is about hypocrisy. Why does a city cry for a dead celebrity but stay silent when the poor die in the streets?" Every message ended with the same line, "You laughed at the wrong man." The city's tone shifted. What started as a joke was turning into something uncomfortably real. Some began calling him the Laughing Prophet. Others called him a terrorist with a sense of theater. Police claimed to be closing in on him, but Joker was always a step ahead. His movements were unpredictable. One night in the subway, the next inside an abandoned church. Rumors spread that he wasn't working alone anymore. And those rumors were true. In the shadows of Gotham's broken alleys, Joker had gathered a strange audience. Not criminals, not clowns, but the forgotten. Failed comedians, ex-janitors, cab drivers, people who'd been mocked, ignored, stepped on. Each wore a painted smile, crude and imperfect. They didn't follow him out of fear, but fascination. He didn't preach about chaos. He spoke about truth. "You see," he told them one night, standing beneath a flickering bulb, "the world doesn't hate clowns. It hates mirrors. I'm just showing them what they look like when they laugh." A woman from the group asked quietly, "And what happens when they stop laughing?" He looked at her, eyes burning through the paint. Then the show ends. The plan that followed was simple and terrifying. Gotham's biggest event of the year was approaching, the Golden Stage Awards, a national broadcast celebrating the country's best comedians and entertainers. A night of glamour, lights, and irony. Ryan Cole was set to be honored posthumously as a symbol of laughter taken too soon. Joker saw the irony too, and he wasn't going to let that stage go to waste. On the night of the ceremony, security was tighter than ever. Police snipers on rooftops, metal detectors, scanners, but none of it mattered. Joker didn't need to be there physically. When the host began his monologue, mocking Gotham's obsession with fear, every screen in the theater suddenly flickered. The laughter track glitched. The host froze. The audience murmured. The lights dimmed. And then he appeared, not on stage, but on every monitor in the building. Joker, dressed in a purple suit, calm and composed, sitting in front of a curtain that looked eerily familiar, Ryan Cole's old set. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, voice dripping with irony, "thank you for tuning in to The Last Laugh. Tonight's guest of honor was going to be remembered for his jokes, but I thought, why not remember him for his silence instead?" Gasps, whispers, cameras rolling. He leaned forward, smiling. "Comedy is supposed to tell the truth, isn't it? Well, here's one. Every person in this room laughed when a man broke on stage. You applauded cruelty. You called it humor. So tonight, I'm giving you what you really paid for, the truth." The camera panned sideways, revealing Ryan Cole's missing watch on the table beside him. Not blood, not gore, just the symbol of time. A reminder that laughter has consequences. Suddenly, the theater doors locked. The lights flashed red. Alarms blared. The crowd panicked, people screaming, pushing toward exits that wouldn't open. On every screen, Joker kept smiling. "Relax," he said softly. "No one's dying tonight. I'm not a killer. I'm a teacher. You all just need a lesson in empathy." Then, one by one, clips began to play. Footage from phones, social media, hidden cameras, of each celebrity in that room mocking the poor, laughing at people's pain, their scandals, their sins. Joker had hacked their hypocrisy into a public confession. The laughter turned into silence. Shame filled the room like smoke. And then the screens went black. Moments later, the doors unlocked. Police stormed in, expecting a massacre, but Joker was nowhere near the building. He'd never been. The broadcast signal traced back to an abandoned theater, the same one where he'd recorded his first message. Inside, only one thing remained, a microphone standing at the center of the stage and a single note taped to it. Comedy dies when the truth stops being funny. That night, Gotham's social media exploded. Some called him a genius, others called him a monster. But deep down, everyone knew Joker hadn't killed anyone. He'd killed their illusion. Yet even in victory, he didn't smile. Sitting alone backstage, surrounded by flickering lights, he muttered, "They'll forget tomorrow. They always do." Then a voice came from the shadows, soft, slow, almost amused. "Not everyone forgets, Joker. Some of us remember you." Joker turned, and there, stepping into the light, was a familiar face. The one man who'd once believed he could save him. Detective Gordon. And in his hand, a file stamped with 3 words, Operation Final Laugh. Joker's grin returned, quiet, knowing. Oh, so the show's not over after all. The room was silent except for the faint hum of the projector. Joker sat under a single hanging bulb, the light cutting sharp across his painted face. In front of him stood Detective Gordon, coat half-buttoned, eyes tired but steady. Years of chasing monsters had etched lines into his face, but tonight he wasn't chasing a criminal. He was confronting a man he once pitied. Arthur. Gordon's voice was low, careful, as if speaking to a wounded animal. You don't have to keep doing this. The city's burning with your name. Whatever message you think you're sending, they're twisting it into chaos. Joker smiled faintly. Chaos is the purest language, Jim. Everyone understands it, even the ones who pretend they don't. Gordon stepped closer, his boots echoing on the cracked wooden floor. I saw the footage. The awards. You humiliated half the city's elite, and now copycats are popping up everywhere. People are hurting, Joker. You've started something you can't control. For a moment, Joker's grin faltered. He leaned forward, elbows on knees, his tone quiet and eerily sincere. Control? You think they ever had control? Look at them, Jim. They built a world on lies and called it laughter. All I did was hold up the mirror. He stood up slowly, brushing the dust off his jacket. You should thank me. I didn't kill anyone. I just showed them what killing feels like without pulling the trigger. Gordon exhaled, shaking his head. You've become exactly what you used to hate. That struck a nerve. Joker's smile froze, and then he laughed. Not the loud, maniacal laugh the world knew, but something hollow. You think I hate myself, Jim? You think I haven't been laughing at me longer than anyone else has? He turned away, his reflection trembling in a cracked mirror. No one becomes the Joker without dying first. The only difference is, I stayed to watch. Outside, thunder rolled across Gotham. Rain began to fall in sheets, washing the graffiti-stained streets. Gordon's men were surrounding the theater, but he hadn't called them in yet. Something about this conversation felt different, like Joker wanted it, maybe even planned it. Arthur, Gordon said again, using his real name this time. You can stop this. Let me help you. No more games. Joker chuckled softly. No more games? Oh, Jim, the game never ends. It just changes players. He walked over to an old reel projector at the back of the room. You know what this is? He asked. Ryan Cole's last show, the one they never aired. He flicked it on. The projector whirred to life, light slicing through the dark. On the wall, Ryan appeared, alive, smiling nervously as he rehearsed jokes in an empty studio. They wanted to cut this part out, Joker said. Said it made him look human. The reel continued, Ryan alone talking to himself. Maybe I went too far. Maybe that guy didn't deserve it. His voice broke. But people love it when I'm cruel. They only laugh when I'm cruel. The film clicked, ending in silence. Joker turned back to Gordon. Tell me, Jim. Who's the villain here? The man who made people laugh by destroying others? Or the man who made them listen by doing the same? Gordon's face hardened. Neither. You're both victims of the same disease. This city. Joker's eyes softened just for a second. Then he whispered, You might be right. He reached into his pocket. Gordon flinched, drawing his gun, but Joker only pulled out a folded letter. This, he said, is the final act. He placed it on the table between them. Rain hammered the roof. Gordon hesitated before unfolding it. Inside, in Joker's handwriting, was a single sentence. Tonight, the audience becomes the comedian. Gordon's eyes widened. What did you do? Joker smiled. I just gave them the mic. At that exact moment, across Gotham, every screen flickered again. Phones, televisions, billboards, all taken over by Joker's broadcast. But this time, it wasn't him speaking. It was them. Thousands of live feeds, real people, ordinary citizens, laughing, mocking, screaming into their cameras. Some imitating Joker, some mocking the rich, others threatening revenge for their own pain. The city had become his stage. Every broken man, every forgotten woman, all playing his part. Joker's voice echoed faintly over the chaos. You wanted to laugh at pain. Then let's make it a community effort. The city spiraled. Riots broke out. People wearing painted smiles roamed the streets, not killing, but confessing, mocking, exposing secrets through laughter. Gotham had become one giant comedy show, and the punchline was humanity itself. Gordon looked back at Joker, horror in his eyes. You've started a war of madness. Joker tilted his head, almost tenderly. No, Jim. I just let them see how funny the truth really is. Outside, sirens wailed, flames reflected off the wet streets. Gotham was laughing, screaming, burning. Joker stepped toward the shattered window, rain dripping down his face, washing away the paint until only Arthur remained beneath. You see, Jim, he murmured, they never needed me. I was just the reminder. Reminder of what? Gordon asked. Arthur turned back, eyes hollow but strangely at peace. That laughter and cruelty share the same sound. Then he did something unexpected. He handed Gordon his gun, placed his hands behind his back, and whispered, Take me in. The show's over. But as Gordon moved to cuff him, a faint smile tugged at Arthur's lips. The monitors behind them began to light up again, one by one, each showing a different face, each painted, each whispering the same phrase. The show never ends. And somewhere in the city, through the noise of chaos and laughter, Joker's voice returned, not from the man in custody, but from everywhere. You thought the Joker was one man? Oh, Jim, the joke's on you.
The camera feed cut to black.
And for the first time in Gotham's history, the world realized Joker didn't disappear. He multiplied. He wasn't just one man in makeup. He was an idea. And ideas don't die. They spread.
So tell me, next time the world laughs at someone's pain,
will you join the audience or walk off the stage?
If Joker's story made you feel something, hit subscribe, because the next tale
might just make you question your own reflection.